What's going on?
How you doing, man? Tanner.
Good. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. How you doing today, man?
Good.
Yeah?
Ready to go.
Ready to get fit?
Yep.
How long have you been playing for?
So I started playing in 2016.
Okay.
So
you didn't play a ton when you were playing ball?
No, too much everyday playing.
focused
Off
on-
days were sleep. So, but now that I'm retired, it's go time.
Yeah. You position players are a little busy though
Yeah,
during the year.
absolutely.
So what do you play to handicap wise? You keep track of that right
Yeah,
now?
I'm a 6.
Okay.
So
You picked it up pretty fast.
Yeah, got
Yeah.
some hand-eye stuff.
That helps.
Yeah, I scramble well, you know. So
Good. Looking at a driver today, right?
yeah,
Can I get
yeah.
you a new driver? Let's grab what you got right
Yeah.
now. Let me see what you got. See what you're working with here. Cool. Tell me about this guy and kind of what you see right now with it as far as your ball flight and what do you
So
doing
I
with
always hit my driver low, which
it? Okay.
you know out here in Arizona it runs for forever.
Sure.
But it's definitely not the best club in my bag.
Okay.
So,
Is that most of your clubs or mainly driver you hit pretty low? Is it consistent?
no,
with
everything
the
else
bag,
I
or-
hit real high.
Okay, so the driver is
So-
kind of an outlier
Yeah.
with the ball flight.
So that's why I'm excited about this to
Absolutely.
hopefully straighten it out and
Yeah.
but if I'm in play off the tee, I'm in good shape.
Okay, ball flight as far as left to right to left. What do you see? What's your stock ball flight?
It's more just straight. I mean,
Okay.
when I get in trouble, I'll hook the ball.
Okay, trouble
you know,
is hook.
Yeah, and then I'll overcorrect and
Gotcha.
not the power fade. It's the slice. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So,
Cool. So what's nice about getting fit with us, just to kind of let you know, is we carry pretty much every brand on the market. So we don't push one brand or the other, which is what people really like. Because
Yeah.
they come out here and see us, we test their driver, we go and test 4, 5, 6 different companies, right? Whatever you hit the best is what we want you to
Absolutely.
obviously play, right? Kind of give you a rundown of what we want to do today too. The first thing I want to do is test this, so we call it blueprint. So I'm going to test the length, the weight, the flex, everything for it. Get an idea of what you've been playing with for the last 6 months.
Yep.
Then I'm going to have you hop on the monitor and have you hit it. I
Okay.
want to get a baseline and see where you're at.
Perfect.
Right? I'm going to look at your numbers as far as your swing speed, your ball speed, spin rate, launch angle, things like that. And that gives me a good direction of where to go or what company
Absolutely.
to choose from there. So come on over here. Let's blueprint this thing
Perfect.
real quick. So bring this quick in here. And my guess is most baseball players that we come in contact with have good speed.
Yeah.
So speed's not the issue normally. So 1.5, that's not bad too. So all right, let me test this guy real quick here. So this is what we call a frequency machine. Pretty simple. Laser goes up against the shaft. We can actually test the flex of this guy. So we can actually, basically every one of our builders will have this at their machine. So what it does, it clamps down the club here, we bend it down, and it actually tells me how stiff the shaft really is.
Okay.
What's really crazy about this, whether you get a stock shaft or even a custom shaft, you can get 5 or 6 shafts in from the manufacturer, and they're all going to be a little bit different.
No kidding.
in how stiff they are. Which
Okay.
is a problem because let's say we get you a shaft,
Yeah.
and they ship it out to you, and it's not the right flex.
Yeah,
So what
yeah.
do? It's a
Exactly.
little stiffer. So the way we kind of counter that is every shaft that you see here on the wall. So you can see here 252, 265. We actually know how stiff every one of our demo shafts are. So when I fit you into a shaft today, we're going to build that exact number for
Okay.
you. So we tell our builders, hey, build Dustin a 265 or 243.
So they're right on.
They're going to be right on exactly how stiff the shaft needs to be for you.
Awesome.
So it is really taking that custom level to the
technical,
next
absolutely.
level. So we'll make sure we get that done for you. So let's get out there and hit a few things,
Okay.
and we'll kind of get a baseline of where we're at.
Awesome.
So, well, I was going to ask you. So do you feel like your golf swing, baseball swing, a little bit different, a little similar? What do you?
Yeah, I think it just helped because tempo with golf is everything.
Sure.
And for me, baseball, I mean, I was so violent with my swing
Yeah.
that it kind of slowed me down. Then you read about all the guys that say golf messes your baseball swing up. Then you read Tony Gwynn, all he did was golf. You know what I mean? And
He's a pretty good. He was a pretty good hitter.
yeah.
Kind of personal goal as far as your driver. What would you say your personal goal would be as far as a little more distance? Obviously, everybody wants to hit it further. Keeping the grid. I mean, what are your top goals as far as the driver is concerned?
Honestly, like workability,
Okay.
like being able to hit a draw and a fade,
Okay.
and just control for me.
Gotcha.
Because my strength's iron game. Like I gotta be in the fairway.
Okay. One of the big things you talked about missing a left. Now with your driver, we did measure it out a little bit. You're playing the TaylorMade Sim 2. which again isn't crazy old, but there are some new things and new heads technology-wise that are going to help you. And the other big thing for you is going to be the shaft. I mean, here's the thing: you're playing basically a 50-55 gram Ventus shaft, stiff shaft.
Okay.
And I'll talk about your numbers here in a minute, but the last one was 116 miles an hour.
Okay.
So to give you an idea, 112 is the average, 113 on the PGA Tour for those guys. And they're swinging, you know, that's the average. You got some guys that are 120, 125, 130. You got some guys that are 105, 106. But at 116,
so the speed's not the issue.
Speed is not an issue, but the shaft being as light as it is and as soft as it is an issue for you.
Okay.
What happens is the lighter the shaft, you're going to have a tendency to pull it more left.
Okay.
The softer the shaft, you're going to have a tendency to hit it left.
Okay.
So both those things are kind of going against you a little bit.
Gotcha.
Basically, based on this guy. Let's look at some numbers here together. So, kind of show you here. On the left, these are all your carry distances right here. So 250, 252, 259. That was one you missed, a little bit thin at 202. But you can see right around almost 260. Just a little bit under that. Now, if I click on, let's just go to the averages. So, if you look at the blue down here at the bottom, these are your average. So your average club head speed's 115 miles an hour. Again, really good speed. No issue there whatsoever. And honestly, it looks like I can picture your baseball swing being pretty aggressive. You're not that aggressive here. You're pretty smooth.
And pretty under control.
Which is fantastic. In fact, you get 115 out of a smooth, controlled swing is awesome. Again, baseball players, they come see us all the time. Speed is not an issue. You know, sometimes we got to throttle them back a little bit because they're swinging way too hard. Now, your ball speed's coming off at 158. The more ball speed we can get, the better. Every mile an hour ball speed is about 2.5 yards of carry distance. So if we can gain you just 2 or 3 miles an hour, you know, that's 7, 8, 9 yards really quick. Just from that standpoint. Another way to look at this too is what they call efficiency. If you talk about tracking, and they call it smash factor. What it is, it's ball speed divided by your club head speed. It's basically how efficient you are with the club. Higher that number, the better. Typically, you'll see 147, 148 with a GC quad. So 142 or your average of 138, it is a little on the lower side. Part of that's just contact and making solid contact with it. But the other part is how efficient is the club with you. Now, your attack angle right here, you're coming down 2 degrees. Ideally with the driver, you want to be up on it. It's the only club in the bag besides the putter that you want to work slightly up on. So it kind of makes sense why you're a pretty good iron player, wedge player, because you probably come down on it pretty good.
Real good,
you press it nice and things like that. And similar to me, I come down on my irons like 6 to 7 degrees, which is a little steep. But that's part of my game. Driver, a little bit more weaker part of the game. And so, again, I'm not here to fix that, but just in the future, if I build you something that can, where you do get down to maybe 0, that can make you sweep up on a little bit more, it's going to get you a little more carry and more height. Okay, so that is something to think about as you're working on your game and continue to get better. Now your launch angle, 6.5, super low. I mean, I want you to get 12 if possible. Now the problem is, and I'm going to kind of fine tune this a little bit depending on your swing, if you're swinging down at 2 or 3 degrees, I can't have you launch it at 12. Because now you're going to spin the hell out of it. Okay, so the more you hit down on it and the more I have you launch it up, that angle is going to create backspin. So now, can I get you like maybe 9 or 10? Yeah, I can.
Absolutely.
With better spin rate. Now your spin rate at 3,000 is not that bad. Honestly, anything under 3, if you're hitting down on it 2 or 3 degrees, is actually pretty good. In a perfect world, I'd have you launch it maybe at 12, 13 and spin it like at 2,200. Now that'll maximize everything. But we'll see where we get with some of the new stuff. You average 250 carry and you averaged almost 270. Again, that's an average, right? You get some that are a little further than that. I want to keep you in the grid, but I also I wouldn't mind, maximizing distance a little bit.
100%.
At the same time. So let's do this. Let's go look at some heads. We'll grab some new stuff and we'll try some new stuff.
Awesome.
Sound good?
Heck yeah.
We'll throw that back if you want. So the first one we're going to test is the TaylorMade Stealth Plus. The Stealth is kind of like the regular Sim. Doesn't have any weight in it, and it's a little more higher launching, which may not be the worst thing for you, but it's very spinny right now. And I want to have a lower spin as well. Obviously, spin is one of the things I wanted to bring down a little bit. So having this weight up front, it's going to bring that spin down a little bit. Shaft-wise, we're bumping up the flex. We're going to do an X flex for sure. And the weight, 65 grams, so we are going up a little bit in weight. As we go through a few of these, I'll have you hit maybe 4 or 5. We don't need to hit a bunch. Because you're going to know pretty quick if it feels good or not.
If it feels good or,
If it doesn't, just get it out of there. Let's move on, right? No reason to kind of fight yourself to try to fall in love with something. Numbers-wise, same thing. As you're hitting a couple, if you're like, that felt pretty good. If I look at the numbers and they're not there, they're not there. So I'll know pretty fast numbers-wise, but as far as the looks, the feel, sound, that's up to you. I can't fit for that. You're the one swinging it. So any feedback you provide, great, but let's test a few of these heads and kind of go from there.
Awesome.
So. The spin rate is basically similar to what your driver was doing. You're spending about 3,000, 3,200, so you're getting basically the same thing out of it. So at that point, there'd be no reason to switch, right? So, yeah, I wasn't in love with that guy either. So I don't know what Callaway you're hitting before, but this is the Max LS. So this is the lower spinning version. A little bit more, I don't want to say fade bias, but not draw bias. Generally, Callaway, if you take their standard head, is a little bit more closed. So that may be why you were getting some of that. And it could have been shaft related too.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you have any idea what shaft? Were you just using a stiff shaft again, or did you go to
Yeah,
mesh,
it was just a stiff shaft, yeah.
That could have been another issue that you were having too. But yeah, this is the Max LS. So this is a little bit more neutral, kind of open face, lower spinning head that they have on the Rogue. So. A lot better than TaylorMade. So Max LS, again, it's a little bit more open bias. It's definitely not closed bias, okay? And you can see here, 2,100 spin, you average 2,400. So we brought your spin down by about 500 or 600 RPMs. And your ball flight looks very similar to what you're used to, for the most part, right? But you're getting more distance out of it. So like on that one was 280. One before that was 283. I think it was the very first one you hit was almost 290. So look at your spin rate, 2,100 again. So spin rate's coming down. It's doing its job, what it's supposed to do. I'd love to get a little more height. Again, I'll mess with some of that with shaft and settings and things like that. But yeah, that was definitely a little bit better than the first head. So again, this is the Ping LST. This is the lower spinning head. We're gonna kind of stay with that kind of theme with most of these heads. It's a very accurate driver, very forgiving. So let's see what this one does for you.
Awesome.
Bring it on back. So there's another decent, that was a decent ball, right? You struck that one good. So the second one you hit, which wasn't a bad ball at all, it was just a little bit bleeder. Look at your spin at 3,500. Look at your yardage. So it cost you almost 10 plus in carry, and it cost you almost 20 in total.
That's insane.
Just because of that. If you're hitting down on a 1 or 2 like you are now, and you're hitting at 285, 290 accurately, that's damn
what
good.
we want,
So, all right. Titleist TSI 3 here. Honestly, right now, the Callaway and the Titleist are the two of the best. Callaway's
I like the Callaway.
In the head, for sure. Usually we would, but you hit 275 almost. So like you missed, didn't hit great. Your spin rate was still under 3,000. You hit down on it 4 degrees, which is a big number. Still got 161 ball speed, and you were 158 on average. So I agree. It didn't sound like you hit it as good as you could have. It didn't sound like it was your best strike. But the fact that you still got 161 out of it and still got almost 275 out of it, that's pretty good. So this is an Accra shaft. Again, X Flex. We're gonna stay in that this is gonna be like in that 70 gram range, and we did go up in weight in that last one, so you did feel it. It was heavier.
It was heavy.
It was heavier.
What was it? 75.
So yep.
The shaft feels so light.
So Graphite design, they make a ton of shafts, but the Tour AD version, we actually, they make 3 different shafts proprietary just for us, which is really
nice.
Cool. Yeah,
nice.
It's awesome. So they make one with a high launching, high spinning shaft. We could go firmer, lower launching, lower spinning, but honestly, it might be too much of a shaft. So this is kind of the ideal one for you. And 65 grams is going up in weight from what you're used to, but it's not overly heavy. You know what I mean? It's only spinning at 2,000 when you come down on it 4.5 degrees is like ridiculous. Like that is awesome. 164 ball speed again. So I mean, you're 4 miles an hour again faster than your driver. And your spin rate right now, you're averaging 2,100, which you were at 32, I think, or 33. So we're 1,000 RPMs lower spin rate, and your ball speed's up as well. Those are 2 things you want, obviously, in a driver.
How far is that going? 270?
275.
I think we got a winner.
I think we got a winner. I like this setup.
I have a baseball grip, So my grip's the part of the problem.
It's okay. Baseball grip. You'll play baseball grip. Take your right hand off for me though. Just want to see your fingers. Yeah, your fingers are touching, so you don't need you don't need a smaller grip than that, dude. And this doesn't taper off as much on the right hand, so it does help you not releasing it as much, right? It kind of keeps you from preventing from turning it over as much.
Okay.
Which is nice.
Okay.
So, and if you like this texture, we can use that grip. We can get that grip. All right, Dustin, so this is your guy here. So, I mean, right off the get-go, when we first went through the first round with it, the Callaway did stand out.
Yep.
Okay, it did. And then we obviously came back to it with a couple different options that we liked. We tried 4 or 5 different shaft options. And funny enough, the first shaft that we pulled was the Graphite Design 280 shaft. So, again, X-Flex, 65 grams, so it's a little bit heavier than you're used to,
yep. Which
I think is going to be huge for you. And we came back to this Callaway Rogue ST Max LS head again. A couple things we saw. Ball speed jumped up a little bit, and the big thing too, your spin rate came down quite a bit.
Yeah.
Distance-wise, we're hitting it 15, 20 yards further. No, probably about 5, 10 yards further.
Yeah.
The big thing too is your misses. One, you're keeping them in the grid.
Yeah.
Right. We wanted to avoid that left, which we did. I think a big part of that at the end too was not only is the shaft huge. I know we went back to your club and hit a couple and went back left again.
Yeah.
Continue going forward. Work on sweeping up on it
Yeah.
as you're practicing. Obviously, if you're playing, you know that sweeping up on it has a tendency to pop up and go left, so you're not going to do that. But as you work on your game and kind of keep developing it, sweeping up on it is going to be big for you.